Everyone is hurting in some way, you included. But no matter how you feel about yourself, someone needs you. We're going to be talking about all this and more on today's episode of the Happiness Playbook. Hello everyone and welcome to the Happiness Playbook. I'm your host and play theory coach, Michael Anderson. Today I will be commenting on life through the paradigm of play theory, a mindset consisting of 4 principles: be present, let go and play, accept and build, and look outward. These principles have been practiced in our community for over 20 years, and I have been practicing them for 14 years, and I teach them every single day. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you in advance for liking and subscribing. I know that you're going to do it. I know that you're going to press that button this time. I know you're going to do it, Bob. There's got to be a Bob out there listening to this. Let's get into our team huddle. Last week, we talked about accept and build and how words have actual meaning and actual power. We also invited you to give a genuine compliment. Let's see how you did. Let's go to our comments. Here's a comment from Lauren Gilbride, 3469. Such a wonderful reminder to be kinder to those around us. It's much easier, I feel, to give a genuine compliment to someone I'm not as close with, as opposed to someone I work with or see every day. It's easy to fall into the base understanding that I think those around me are the best people. That's why I stay near them. But I so often forget that they won't know how much I appreciate and adore them if I never tell them. Thank you for the reminder and for the challenge. Thank you so much, Lauren, for that. That's really important for us to remember, is that those around us, sometimes we have a hard time complimenting them because we're so used to that relationship that we have, and it's easier to give a compliment to someone who's maybe a stranger or that we are not as close to. So that's a really great comment. And then we've got another comment here from Mothish XD. Watching what you say is so important, especially nowadays when people struggle with mental issues. We really need to be kind and supportive to the people we are around. That's so true. We never know what others around us are going through. And so it's really important for us to just choose to be kind in those situations. Sometimes we can get really rough with people because we're like trying to have a real relationship with them or start teasing or something like that. But you know what? It's okay for us to start with a compliment. Yeah, it's okay with us to start kind. And if you'd like a chance to be showcased on the Happiness Playbook, please be sure to leave a comment wherever you watch or listen. You'll never know the impact you might have until you give it a shot. And that gets into our principle today, which is to look outward, which means to validate self and others and cultivate generous intentions and create synergy. So let's get into the body of our text today. We are talking about look outward. What does it mean to look outward? Sometimes when I'm talking with my kids here at our program, we come up with ideas like, okay, well, looking outward means to look out. Like, I don't know, look out at a field. There's the field out there. I get to look out. My eyes are open. I'm looking out. Okay, that's kind of a baseline example of, okay, sure, open your eyes, look outward. But it means a little bit more than that from what we teach here. A good way to think about it is what does it mean to look inward? When you are looking inward, what does that mean to you? I think for, a lot of us might mean, oh, maybe I'm introspective. Maybe I'm looking at the things that I might need. That's all good stuff. Maybe I'm acting selfishly. That, I think, is also a big part of looking inward. And if we look at it that way, that tends to be the opposite of what look outward is. So when we talk about look outward, we're saying look out for other people. Help others to look good in life, not just yourself. So it takes a little bit of setting ourselves aside or self-sacrificing to help others. And that's really tough in society because what we're taught in society is kill or be killed, eat or be eaten, right? It's about putting yourself first so that no one else can affect you or negatively impact you. And I think there's a little bit of a problem with this. I understand the reasoning for it because that is just, the world's tough. It's a tough place to live in. And you want to be careful about people trying to take advantage of you. But there's a little bit of danger in it as well, which is saying we refuse the fact that there are other people that exist in the world around us. So recognizing that, we can start to look outward. And when I talk about self-sacrifice or setting ourselves aside for a little bit, what I mean is not necessarily, not taking care of your health anymore. Or maybe you are, offended by what other people say or whatever it is. Like, there's things that you need to do to take care of yourself. Sometimes you need to take a break from society. Maybe you need to do little things like that. But what I'm really meaning here is setting yourself aside is saying, I'm going to go a little bit out of the comfort zone and I'm going to help others. So that's kind of what I'm getting at there. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today, is getting out of your comfort zone so that you can be a little bit more helpful to others. And what actually happens as you do this is you're trusting that others in turn will take care of you. As you take care of others, others will take care of you. So going back to the beginning of what I was saying here with our hook, right, is everyone's hurting in some way. You might be hurting too. And you may even need help from someone at some point, right? But no matter what you think, no matter if you might not think you're capable to help someone else, but you are needed and you are valuable. And that's why it's important that we practice this principle of look outward. Now think about that. When is a time that you needed someone's help? Was it recently? What's the time you wanted someone's help? Was that even more recently? Maybe you wanted someone's help and didn't get it. Maybe you felt like you really needed it. Or maybe right now you feel like you need someone's help. You're feeling very lonely right now. And you need someone's help. Well, now reverse that. Think about the other side of that coin. Does someone need your help? Or is there someone else sitting alone thinking about you? I wish they would give me a call. I wish you would give me a call. That kind of starts to flip things a little bit. You start to think, wait, maybe I've been a little bit selfish. Maybe I've been trying to just act for myself here. And I don't want to say that you shouldn't ask or need help. Ask for help when you need it. But this kind of society, this kind of thinking is much better for us, is turning towards others and deciding that you can help others and trusting that someone will turn around and help you. Let's talk about the play theory principles, and let's talk about how they relate to the human connection, how they relate to looking outward, and how they can help us connect with people better. So I want to look at the first three, right? So when we talk about look outward, typically we're saying the way to best look outward is to live the other principles with other people involved. So the first one is be present, right? So in order to start looking out for others, we need to first be present with them. And in fact, that's the first rule of play. You can never engage in play until you are first present. Try it out. Prove me wrong. Go in the comments and say whatever you want to say about that. But you cannot play until you are first present. So that helps us with people too, right? And one of my rules about play as well is that the only way for play to happen is that if everyone involved is having a good time. Now, that might just be with you as well, right? When we talk about be present, maybe you're in the moment and it's just yourself and you found some kind of wholesome recreational activity for yourself, right, to be involved in. And you could be in play in that moment if it's just you, but that's still the same rule, is that everyone involved is having a good time. And now we can let go and play, right? So this is kind of what I was talking about. Get out of your comfort zone. When you get out of your comfort zone and start talking to people and start actually approaching them, then you can actually have a good, productive experience with them, right? So sometimes you have to let go and play to go give someone a compliment. Sometimes you need to let go and play to actually offer a helping hand. Accept and build. We talked about this last week. You need to accept others, validate them. And one of the best ways to do that and to build them up is to give them a genuine compliment. And so all of those things work together for looking outward. And talking on be present, something that has been on my mind a little bit recently is oxytocin. Oxytocin. Do you know what that is? What is that? I'm going to tell you what it is. It's this thing, this hormone that is produced in your brain. It's actually called like the love hormone. I'm going to read this for you actually. This is from Harvard Health. Oxytocin is a hormone that's produced in the hypothalamus and released into the bloodstream by the pituitary gland. Its main function is to facilitate childbirth, which is one of the reasons it's called the love drug or love hormone. Oxytocin, like endorphins or serotonin, also other hormones, is a type of hormone in your body that promotes positive feelings. And then it goes on to say, oxytocin has been shown to decrease stress and anxiety levels. Research suggests that oxytocin can have a positive impact on social behaviors related to relaxation, trust, and overall health. So that's kind of cool. So that's what oxytocin can do. Why did I bring that up randomly in the middle of this? Well, relating to be present and relating to others, oxytocin is something that's released in relation to others. It's actually something that we rarely get on our own. And it can come from positive experiences and negative experiences. In fact, usually a really big challenge or maybe a disaster in your life that happens while you're with other people, there's this oxytocin that's released in both of you that actually causes you to bond over that hard experience. And the same thing for some more gentle and better and positive experiences. Kind of like this. Let's see here. Okay. Oxytocin is released from social activities, including, I wrote this. That's funny. I was like reading that like it was a quote from me. But I found this as I was researching AI online and some other studies. All of these were pulled in from various different locations, and I kind of just took it all and put it all together. So if you want to go online and search this out, this is pretty much like every single time I search this, no matter where I search this is what I got every single time, was that oxytocin is released from social activities, including and especially associated with physical touch. Kind of like hugging, holding hands, cuddling, etc., all that kind of stuff, or even a high five. There's oxytocin released in those situations. In fact, there was one thing that I saw that restaurants would have higher tips if the waiter or waitress would come up and have some kind of physical touch with the person. Like maybe they just like for a second put their hand on the person's shoulder. They would actually get tipped more because of this. Really kind of a cool thing that actually happens, but it's because of that oxytocin. And then moving on, sharing feelings with others. That also releases oxytocin, or confiding in someone, or creating eye contact. So creating eye contact with someone releases oxytocin. And so doing all of these things, it creates this bond with somebody else. So if you create a physical touch, if you create eye contact, or if you're sharing feelings with somebody, you are actually creating there's a real chemical in your brain, a hormone that's being released that connects you with that person. And it will continue to be associated with that person. It's called a positive feedback loop. So really, really cool thing. And that's one of the reasons why we spend so much time on social media. Whoa, weird twist in the whole conversation. But we are going to social media all the time because we want to see faces. Seeing a face, like even just seeing a picture of a face, a smiling face or a sad face, releases oxytocin. So we go online to do this, but it releases less oxytocin than if you see someone face to face. So what I'm bringing this all back to is find ways to be present as a method of looking outward. Get together with people, see them face to face, and talk with them about your feelings and share actual needs. Because it definitely benefits them, but it also benefits you. So looking outward, no matter what, even if the other person is not like necessarily providing like sustenance or care in your life, you're actually connecting with them in a very real way. So let's talk really quick about our practice for looking outward. And I want to approach this from the perspective of fixing your relationships first, though we're going to talk about how you can look outward for strangers as well. But let's talk about your own life, your own relationships, your own families, friends. And I want to go through a couple of topics. So the first one I want to talk about is your phone. So something we need to do in society is we need to get off our phone so we can actually talk to someone or listen to someone. And I'm telling you, I'm not a hypocrite in this. I don't look at my phone while I am with other people. I just don't do it. Not that often, because guess what? I've got this phone right here. I put it on the ground for some reason, but there it was. And it looks like a smartphone, but it's not. It can only do call and text. And I got this phone because I wanted to save time. I mean, doom scrolling takes forever. It's just like, oh man, I got to do this every day. But having a phone like this has helped me to not have to have more productive conversations with my family and friends. And it always frustrates me whenever I'm in a group of people. A lot of times what happens is phones come out first, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's not like I can look at my phone. So I just kind of look around at everybody in the room and I'm like, I wish we were talking right now. That would be fun. So that's my little rant on that. But I will say, when you're in presence with other people, a great way to look outward is to get off your phone and ask them how they're doing. How was your day today? I want to hear about it. What are you working on right now? Or do you still have that same job? Are you still going to that same class? Has anything changed? I just want to hear about it. I want to hear about the cool experiences in your life. So that's a really cool way to fix things in your relationships. Politics, religion, ooh, that's scary. I love doing this podcast because it is not politically affiliated. In fact, I do not care what your politics are. I just don't. I have my own political ideas. We all do. That's okay. That's a good thing, I think. But I don't care what your ideas are on those politics because you matter much more than your political ideas to me. It's just a fact. And truth of the matter is, I have friends that are opposite side of me with politics, and I agree with them on most stuff because they're good people. Every single time I ask this question, does this person want what is good for others? I find that when it's someone I love and I really connect with, the answer is yes, because I want to surround myself by good people. So ask that for people around you. Do they want what's best for others? And I think that can really fix relationships a lot. So set your politics aside too. Put your phone down, put your politics down, right? Religion too, that's a tough one because, maybe in your family, religion has kind of caused a divide for you, right? And that could be with politics as well. But just know that, once again, if you put your religious beliefs before the person, I would like you to check your religion again. Because, I don't know, I don't know a lot about all the other religions. I just know a little bit about Christianity, and I know that that's not the right way to go about Christianity. So put that aside. Think about others first. And that usually tends to help you, right? And I think that, and same thing goes for those who maybe left their family because they left a religion, right? That's a really tough topic. If you left your family behind because of a religion, we get it. You believe something different, right? But put that idea aside. There's still people. You still left people aside. And it's okay to love them still. And it's okay to love yourself still too. Disagreements can cause a big rift in our families and with our friends. Have you ever had a disagreement with someone or held a grudge with somebody? That's tough. That's hard. And you know what? A good way to look outward is to say, I am having a hard time getting rid of this disagreement, but I just am because you're more important. Do you get the theme so far? Is we put people first. So always put others first. Say sorry. It's okay. Ask yourself this every time you're dealing with someone. Does this person want what is good for others? Rather than, does this person want what I want? See the difference there? Because if you're always asking if this person wants what I want, then you're putting a barrier in between you guys. You're saying, well, and religion is very important to me. That's something that is super important to me. Now, it's part of my religion to reach out to others. Already talked about that. But I could very easily say, if you're not in my religion, then there's a wall. I'm putting up a wall right there, and you're on that side, I'm on this side, and until you come on my side, we can't make things work. That happens all the time. And I know it does. I talk to people it happens to all the time. So you get to choose for yourself where you want to be. And you can't necessarily choose to be on the other side of someone's wall, but you can approach and you can say, hey, I'm not putting a wall here myself. I'm willing and open. And if someone walls themselves off to you, that's their choice. You have to live with it. But being a looking outward person, that means that you are giving it a shot and you're trying it out. So we talk about relationships, how to fix them up a little bit. And I'm not a relationship therapist or anything like that, but these are things that I've seen, and they're mostly things I've just seen get in the way, right? So put them in practice and see how they do. But once you've established a strong relationship with somebody, and so this is someone you're more familiar with, and maybe you already have a really strong relationship, what you should do is you should seek continual service and checking in. And do it genuinely, right? And I don't think that people are actually as bothered as you might think, right? And it's not necessarily the thing where you say, hey, if you need any help, I'm here for you. If you need any help, I'm here for you. If you need any help, I'm here for you. Like, you can say that over and over, and that doesn't really help out that much. But what I'm talking about is saying, you're walking by a person that you love, and they're walking through the door, and they're holding something, and you say, can I get that for you? You open it up while you're saying it, right? You're just already in service mode. Or, like, hey, I noticed that you're not feeling too great today. Do you want to talk about that? And that can go a really long way. And maybe they don't. They can say, no, not really. And you're like, that's fine. I don't need to talk about your emotions right now. I want you to know that I'm a resource for you to talk about what you're going through right now. So that's what I talk about when we talk about checking in and looking outward in that way. So I want to share some quotes for you. And funny enough, these two quotes come from men who are best friends. They're dead now, but they're amazing people. So the first quote is from Teddy Roosevelt, and this one is, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Isn't that interesting? If we all live that today with our political situation, nobody knows how much you know until they know how much you care. The next quote is from John Muir, and this one is really fun. So they were both friends. They would go hiking in Yosemite together. When one tugs at a single thing in nature, he finds it attached to the rest of the world. Our lives are really delicate. There's little tiny things in our life, but there's little tiny differences that we can make in people's lives. So it doesn't have to be this fantastic gift that you give to somebody, but kind of like last week, giving someone a compliment, right? That little string that you're tugging at, that can mean the whole world. That's attached to the other person's whole world. So I love that they were both friends there. So now when it comes to strangers, just seek opportunities. Find ways to validate and compliment others. You can do it, right? Kind of like we talked about last week with your words. You can do it that way. And, maybe someone is really struggling on the side of the road. And recently I had to stop for that. I saw an old lady fall down on the side of the road, and she had no way to get up. And it was like a busy road. So I was like, I need to pull over in a way that I'm right next to her so that I know that no one is going to hit her. And then I'm going to get out and help her up, right? We need you. We all need you because the world is tough. It's because the world is tough that we need you, not the other way around. It shouldn't be the world is tough so you get to hide in your own shell. The world is tough, so we need each and every one of you, especially the best of us. And you are the best. So this week, seek at least one opportunity to look outward for someone else instead of looking inward. And please comment on your experience for a chance to be featured in next week's episode. Up to this point, we have read every single comment that has come through on the previous week's videos. And until then, remember that happiness is a skill, and skills require practice. See you all here next week on the Happiness Playbook.